Question: how do the vibrational changes affect sleeping patterns? Datre: you will find that your sleeping patterns will be very greatly affected. You will find that there are times when you clear your mind, you close your eyes. You have nothing that you can relate to until you open your eyes the next morning. You will awake refreshed and ready to give the world a go. Then you will find that you will go through other periods of time when, regardless of what you seem to do, that which you call sleep will not come. Rather than thrash around in your bed and try to make the body sleep, get out of that bed, go and sit in a chair and find something to read. It does not matter what, but your computer brain is always running. It is far better for you to sit down and read a murder mystery, or geographical information, or archaeological, or whatever you're into, a craft book, whatever. Reading something is far better for you than to lie in that bed and force the body into sleep, which it does not want to do, and just sits and thrashes over and over yesterday's problems, today's problems, tomorrow's problems. Everything that the computer brain keeps dragging up, dragging up, dragging up, dragging up. That doesn't allow the body its latitude. After all, you are in the body, experiencing, but you're still the boss. Say, all right, if you won't sleep, then do something else. Don't just lie there and grind on any subject. The minute the body finds out that, well, so we're going to do something else, it will be content. You might find yourself reading in the morning, except you've got your eyes closed. You will wake up and the book will be there in front of you. You have gone to sleep. It is the struggle in anything that causes wear and tear upon the physical being. The physical body reacts to that wear and tear that you give it. The body does not die because of physical exercise. The body dies more often from the stress that you put on it. So you get 2-3 nights you're not sleeping well, get up and do something else. Read, eat, whatever you want to do. Don't allow the body to struggle and grind on a subject that you've already gone over 1,000,000 times. It is not going to help one bit. When the body is ready to sleep, it will sleep. Question: these new energy waves that are coming in, are they part of the harmonic convergence? Datre: no. Harmonic convergence is something that you're doing on your planet that's done by the psychic community. That has nothing to do with us or what is happening with the energy waves. The energy waves are independent of your planet. The energy waves are coming from outside into your bubble to make the changes. Question: how does a technology wave differ from any other wave? Can the frequency be given, or is that not applicable? Datre: there is no frequency to a wave, because you have not any instruments that detect those waves. As was stated before, you detect the particles within the wave, not the wave itself. At the present time you do not have any instrumentation or any physicality, being human, that can detect the wave. In other words, you are surrounded by them at all times. But you cannot see them. You cannot touch them. We explained that earlier as soap bubbles, just to give you an idea of something so that you could understand. You have what you call air. You know it's there. You breathe it. You walk in it. You are surrounded by it and your bubble is filled with it. The universe is filled with it, not air, but energy pockets, waves, bubbles. Whatever you want to call it. The reason we call them waves is because they congregate together. They are individual, they're individualistic, and they have their own experiences. But they congregate. They congregate naturally. Or when we put them together to form what we call an energy wave for a certain purpose. So there is no way of detecting them whatsoever. Electromagnetics is definitely, just the word by itself, electro is a planetary, what do I want to call it, explanation which relates to your electricity. But electro is only your planet, it is not any place else. All right? Question: is it electromagnetic or some other type not capable of being described in worldly terms? Datre: that is correct, that is correct. They exist. They are. Just like you would say, well, we can't see you. You, meaning us, Datre, any portion of Datre. You are not able to perceive us in any way. Because we are, but there is nothing that says that you can look at us and see that we are. Now there is a difference. You have your dead zone personalities who can and will materialize in front of you. That is different, that is people. Dead zone people, life people. But it's still people. You are still working with particles. So these energy waves are invisible. Question: any more information on timing of the step-up of these new energies? Datre: it is continuing. There was a great change that took place recently. Some people were aware of it, some people were not. There has been a continuation of the energy flow, but it was also an absorption of those previous energies. You see, the energy doesn't come in like a straight stream of water from a hose. It comes in a pulsing action. That being like, well, let's see, it's more like a water wave. The energy starts out very slowly and it builds to a peak and then it drops down again. And then it builds to another peak and then drops down again. The reason it has to do that is because if it came in a steady stream of intensity, it would be too traumatic. The physical body could not handle it. It's the same thing with information. You'll find that there are times, we call these absorption times, the absorption time of the energy, the absorption time of information. In other words, you have a whole bunch of information that you get all at one time. And you're getting this information. You're excited about it. Oh, you're so excited about all this information you're getting, and then all of a sudden it's like it stops. And then there is nothing. All this grand stuff was happening and I was having all these grand experiences and now there's nothing. 74 Well, the nothing is your absorption time. That to many becomes very disturbing because there's nothing happening. You are so used to having continuous input. You can go to your television and it can go on and on for as long as you want it to go on, until you push the button and turn it off. So you've got incoming information constantly. Then you go to your computer and get on that net. Okay, you can push buttons from one thing to another, to another, to another, until your finger gets worn out and you get tired of it and you turn the thing off. It's constant input. Now you go back and you don't have to go back that far. But you go back 4 generations in your counting, that's grandparents, great-grandparents, great-great-grandparents, great-great-great-grandparents. What in the world would they do if they were to come into this particular time construct that you are in now, and be bombarded with all the noise that you have on your planet? With cars, with trucks, with airplanes, with all these other moving things, vacuum cleaners, refrigerators, lawnmowers, all these things that make tremendous amounts of noise. Then they would walk into a house and you have the television going. They'd walk into another room and the computer would be going. Input, input, input. It would blow their minds. But because you have become accustomed to it, you feel that everything has to be constant input. Well, when it comes to understanding and working with the self in physicality, and trying to understand the concepts and work with physicality in your learning experiences, you need to step back and let this be absorbed. So there is what you call an absorption time. Same thing with the energies. The energies are continuing to come in. I believe John read something to us one time recently about sleep deprivation type situations, where people were not sleeping a full night. They are falling asleep in little spurts here and there during the waking time. This was a medical research of some sort, was it not, John? John, yes. That was stimulated by a number of accidents from commercial drivers falling asleep, from what they call mini-sleeps. Datre, now you see what happens and is not understood, is that if you do not allow your body the rest that it needs, and the time that you need to be in touch with the you that you are, on a different basis than you are in physicality, your body and the you that you are going to try and get your attention so that you can get a longer period of restful sleep. You see, if you're just sleeping 15 minutes and then awake and then sleeping a half hour and awake, back and forth, you're never picking up the messages that you're supposed to have to continue in your physicality in the daytime. So what happens is also your body, your physical body, needs its rest time. Because you have so much tension in the physical bodies that the physical bodies need to relax. They need to get this tension out of the system in order to keep it healed. It's very difficult for the body to heal itself when it is strung so tight that nothing can be moved. Now you think of tightness on the outside. The tension that you notice is within the muscles of your body. But tension is also within the physical organs within the body. If that tension isn't released, the body is unable to function the way that it should, in order to keep you in the state of health that it can be in constantly, if it is given time to keep in repair. You know, if you took your car and put in just so much gas and you drove it until the gas ran out, what happens? The car stops. Same thing with the body. You feed it tension from the time you open your eyes until you go to bed at night. You constantly keep feeding it tension. The body cries for you to stop. That is why we have said before, when you go to bed at night, do deep breathing or whatever you want to do. But release that tension within the body so you can relax and sleep. That is very, very important. Especially now, with the new energies coming in. I think we got off the track a little bit, but I wanted to get that information in. So sleep deprivation is something you are going to see more of all the time. So the time that you are working with it linearly is at an end. 76. Then people will say, well, I didn't realize it. If you keep yourself under constant pressure and tension, how are you going to realize anything? You can't. Your body is going to react to the lack of linear time. Time will still exist, but it will be at a much more fluid rate. Then when you begin to notice it, and in noticing it, it will become more flexible, because you will find that it's kind of fun. It's kind of fun not to have the restriction of the time. So some people will enjoy it. Some people will not. Some people will fight it. But that is what you call the human nature.